girl with a preppy vibe. Came to the spot with a friend of mine. She caught my eye. From the beginning, I was hooked. I can't tell a lie. Fresh, dressed, and fly. I respect her mind. Some dude trying to impress, but looking goofy at the same time. He bugging, she looking. I'm going for mine. Confidently, I approach with that eye-to-eye contact. She smiling while adjusting her hair, so I smile back. Pretty girl, what's your name? She said, is that true? Cause if it is, your name perfect for you. My name handsome. She said your name fits you too. See, we was clicking, and after that, time just flew. Then that time came to talk to her pops. He gave his blessing. And then that mind frame I had was honoring and protecting. I knew she was the one when we met. I found my future girl, and no other woman compares to my girl. Yeah, I knew it from the start.
Hey y'all, welcome to the check-in. Happy Monday. How are you all doing today? I cannot believe it is already 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. I feel like I just woke up. I get up like at I got up at 4:45 today. So I can get up, get dressed, and go into DC to go to work and come home. Like my whole day is gone, okay? What we got here? We got Mr. James Ferris here. So how you doing? Good evening. Hey, Mr. James Ferris, how are you? Thank you for supporting the channel. I can always count on you to come through with some comments. Thank you. You look amazing. Thank you so much. It has been a challenge um going through my closet and finding things to put on with this cold weather. Like it is really cold out here. My goodness. But how was your day, sir? Also, where do you live at? What state are you in or country? Yes. Let me go ahead and get myself adjusted here, y'all. It is 25 degrees here right now, and the high was 32 today. It'll be a high of 42 tomorrow, so that seems kind of good. I prefer warmer, but okay. And they're saying snow showers on Sunday and Monday. Oh, my goodness. My. Yeah, nothing above 40s, anything for the next week on the horizon. So there you have that. But all right, so Mr. Ferris, did you reply back yet? Let me see. Nope, he has not. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate that. So I got a few things to talk about today regarding what's going on in the news here. And so we're going to just go ahead on and get things started because it's a work night. So 1 second. What we got here? Oh, we got Mr. Lou here saying where them fans at? Hello, Mr. Lou. Welcome to the check-in, to the live stream. I was telling Mr. Ferris it's like 25 degrees here tonight, so it is cold, but it should warm up a little bit tomorrow into the 40s, but that's still not what I want it to be. But I got some shows for us today, some topics, and we are going to go ahead and dive in, okay? So we're gonna start off with the with the Obama meme, okay? I'm sure you guys have heard about it. And if you haven't seen it, I am going to show it to you right now. So stay tuned. Hold on, James Ferris, what did you say to me? I had asked you where were you at? Like, where are you? Like, are you in the States or what state you're in? And I asked, how are you doing today? That's what I asked. But I'm finna go ahead and play our first video, y'all. Let's get into it. For those who are new here, welcome to the live stream, to the check-in. Stay tuned. Here we go.
And the White House is responding to criticism after President Trump posted a video that includes a racist meme depicting former President Obama and his wife Michelle as apes. Now the Senate's only black Republican senator is responding and calling out the White House. ABC's Jay O'Brien's here with more on that. Hi, Jay, what's the latest?
Yeah, Diane, just moments ago, the video was deleted from President Trump's account, and it comes after a growing chorus of Republican lawmakers called on the White House to take the racist image down, including, as you say, Senator Tim Scott, who posted the image in addition to his post. ABC is not showing the image, but we are showing you the post, and it says, quote, "Praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it." The racist image comes at the end of a minute-long video the president posted on his social media platform. The first 59 seconds describe debunk election conspiracy theories from 2020, and at the end, the video suddenly cuts to an animated meme showing the Obamas' faces on the bodies of apes. The NAACP is out with a statement saying in part, quote, "Donald Trump's video is blatantly racist, disgusting, and utterly despicable," end quote. That again from the NAACP. Images of black people as apes have been used throughout American history to dehumanize them. Slave traders and segregationists use these types of images to depict black people as inferior, and at times it's led to violence. Initially, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in a statement, quote, "This is from an internet meme depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public," end quote. But again, since that statement, the video now appears to have been deleted, and the White House is now saying from an anonymous staffer, quote, that they erroneously made the post. The video that Leavitt described in that initial statement I just played for you was originally shared on Facebook last October by the Hardin County Republican Party of Kentucky. The chairman of that group issued an apology at the time and deleted the original post after backlash. And again, a number of Republican lawmakers are reacting to this. Another is Republican Congressman Mike Lawler. He's posting, quote, "The president's post is wrong and incredibly offensive, whether intentional or a mistake, and it should be deleted immediately," with an apology offered. The Obamas have not commented on the video at this point, Diane.
All right, Jay O'Brien, thank you.
Okay, y'all. So have y'all heard about this situation with this meme that was put out? And what are your thoughts on it? Now, I see we have Mark here. Mark F5X8D. Welcome to the check-in. And he's saying, "Bury the fairy and Big Mike." I have no idea who or what that is, Mr. Mark. Okay, we got Mr. Abby here. Hey, welcome. He says salute. Yes, thank you for supporting the channel. Yes. James Ferry says, "I'm from Norfolk. I am doing fine." That's awesome. But let me tell you guys, I think it's a racist video. I really do. I think it is. I mean, I understand, him wanting to do a video about, I guess, voting reform, but I don't understand why that meme had to be at the end of that video, personally. And if it was a mistake, now it wasn't, I guess, his mistake per se. I mean, I don't know I don't know. If you post something, you typically gotta take responsibility for whatever you post from beginning to end. So I get what he's saying, well, I didn't see the last bit of it. I just saw the front end. But okay, so when you're in a position of authority or power, you have to be kind of mindful of what you post and put out there, on social media, right? So yeah, to sit here and say, well, I didn't see that. So I mean, yeah, I wouldn't like it. I mean, right. So you wouldn't like it, but then he's like, "I'm not apologizing for that." I mean, somebody should apologize for it. And then to say that the staffer did it, I mean, in an actual work environment, if you were to post something like that at your job, then guess what? They would be writing somebody up, or could get even terminated for it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that could be creating a hostile work environment in a work setting. But to do that to a former president, two-term president, and his wife, like, that's just beyond me. So we have Mark saying, "Do you love Big Mike? Who unalived the chef?" I don't know what Mark talking about, but continue with your engagement, sir. But yeah, so let me tell you what we got next. So Gavin Newsom over in California has something to say, right? So we're gonna see what he came up with. And that man right there he's a beast with the memes too, okay? So I'm gonna show you what he came back with, I guess in defense of the Obamas and what just got put out, because the Obamas have not said anything to date, not that I've seen. So let me see here. We have Milagro Diaz, Millis Fab Finds. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Horrible, isn't it? Appalling. It disgusted me. It made my stomach turn. I know. And it's like, I guess for me, it's like I feel like there's no accountability being had here. So granted, if you didn't see it, the whole video, but now that you've seen it and you've seen the reaction from Democrats and Republicans, right? It's like, well, why not say, you know what? I didn't look at the entire video. I should have looked at it before I okayed it to be posted. And that's definitely, um, not anything I want to come out of my office of the White House. And I want to apologize on behalf of my organization and team for what has happened. Like that, it could have been just that. But, you know, I can't say I'm surprised. I can't say I'm surprised. We got Malagra here saying, hello, beautiful. How are you? I'm agreeing with you. That meme with Obama's is disgusting. Yes, it is. And thank you for the compliment. Yes, honey. I done worked all day. Been up since 4:45. But yes, so no, I knew you were agreeing. But yeah, I get to talking up here sometime. But let me show you guys what Gavin Newsom had to say. Check this out. Y'all see that?
I looked at it, I saw it, and I just looked at the first part. It was about voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud.
Gavin Newsom just took Donald Trump's latest controversy and turned it into a full-blown political troll storm. It all started after President Trump blamed a White House staffer for posting a deeply offensive and racist video on his Truth Social account, a video that depicted former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes dancing in a jungle, while Trump was portrayed as a lion. The video sparked immediate outrage across the country, and instead of apologizing, the White House tried to explain it away. At first, Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt dismissed the backlash as fake outrage, calling the post nothing more than an internet meme. But when even some Republicans condemned the video and urged it to be taken down, the story shifted. Suddenly, the White House claimed a staffer had posted the video by mistake. That excuse did not sit well with California Governor Gavin Newsom. On Friday, Newsom's press office responded with a brutal all-caps post on X. Wow, White House says Trump doesn't write his own tweets? Autopen. Attached was an image mocking Trump's Truth Social post as if it were signed by an autopen, a sharp jab at Trump's own repeated attacks on President Joe Biden. Trump has long claimed Biden relied on an autopen due to age and alleged cognitive decline, and even reportedly replaced Biden's portrait with a black and white photo of an autopen in the White House gallery.
Did he really do that?
Newsom's message was clear. If Trump says he didn't post it, who did? But Newsom's office didn't stop there. Earlier, the governor himself condemned the video as disgusting behavior by the president and called on Republicans to publicly speak out. Then, when Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem accused Newsom of releasing tens of thousands of criminal migrants without notifying ICE, the California governor's office fired back. They accused the White House of working overtime to distract from Trump's racist post and reiterated that California cooperates with ICE when removing violent criminals from state prisons. And then came the most explosive moment. Newsom's press office shared an image showing Donald Trump and the late Jeffrey Epstein photoshopped onto pigs standing in a pen, captioned simply, "Oink Oink." The post instantly went viral. The symbolism was impossible to miss, and it sent Trump supporters and critics alike into a frenzy online. The clash is just the latest escalation in a growing feud between Trump and Newsom, who have emerged as political arch-enemies since Trump returned to office. Trump has repeatedly branded Newsom incompetent, while Newsom has called Trump a deranged, habitual liar whose relationship with reality ended years ago. Meanwhile, Trump continues to deny responsibility. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump insisted he's the least racist president and claimed he only watched the first part of the video, which he said focused on voter fraud. He admitted the post stayed up for about 12 hours before being deleted, saying staff removed it after watching the entire clip.
The social media post that you took down earlier today, the White House says that a staffer sent it. Who sent it, and are you going to fire them?
No, I looked at it, I saw it, and I just looked at the first part. It was about voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud. That I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part, and it was really about voter fraud and the machines, how crooked it is, how disgusting it is. Then I gave it to the people. Generally, they'd look at the whole thing, but I guess somebody didn't. And they posted, and we took it down, and we did it. Yeah. But that was a voter fraud that nobody talks about. They don't like to talk about that post. We took it down as soon as we found out about it.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at thousands of things.
Okay.
I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. They had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on The Lion King. And certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it. And probably they would have had the sense to take it down. But that was a takeoff on The Lion King. And a lot of people were covered on in different positions. So.
When asked if he would apologize, he refused. So now, the controversy has shifted beyond the video itself. If the president says he doesn't control his own social media posts, if racist content can sit online for half a day, and if blame always lands on unnamed staffers, then who's really accountable?
Okay, let me just pause that right there. So I'm gonna get to y'all comments, I promise you. But he reads thousands of things. I would think that for something like that, I would think that he would have someone on his team that would review things like from start to finish, right? Not rely on him as the president, one of the most powerful people in the world, to be looking at things being placed on True Social. Like, yeah, I'm sure he looks at it, but I know, like for me, where I work at, right? I look at things and make sure I think that they're good, and then provide them to my supervisor. You know what I'm saying? Like a chain of command type of thing, right? So it's like, who would just assume that he's looking at everything, thousands of things, and he's gonna catch that? I would think he would have had some other staff that would look at it, for him. This is my thoughts. What we got here in the comments here? Okay, so we got JL Reed 6619. Welcome to the live stream. Saying Newsom is auto pen. Lord. We got Keith Chapman 8380. Welcome to the live stream. Saying for the Lion King, Happy Big Mike and Hussein have evolved. I'm gonna give you the side eye on that, Mr. Keith Chapman. He says second worst POTUS behind Gerber Joey. I do not know who Gerber Joey is. We have Calvin Barrett. welcome to the live stream, is saying Trump had cognitive decline. Trump is turning to Sleepy Donald. Lord. We have J.L. Reed saying he has too much time, so why he can't fix his state. So I think you're talking about Newsom, I'm thinking. And what's going on with California? What needs to be fixed in California? Help me, give me up to speed on that real quick. So we got Lee Varel saying hilarious. And we got Lord You Know It saying like, share, comment, and subscribe. Yes, like, share, comment, subscribe, support the channel. Welcome to all the people here for the check-in. Right now, we're talking about the memes of the Obamas, and then this one here where they have I guess President Trump and Epstein that Governor Newsom created in response. So we have Calvin Barrett saying Trump is losing it. We have Robin Harspick, welcome to the live stream, saying fitting meme. And she comes back to say the Trump and Epstein meme fits perfectly on oink. Not the oink oink. Lord have mercy. We got Milagro Diaz saying what staffer works at 11:59 p.m. I do not know. I really don't. I mean, I've heard of people working different hours, but I've never really had an opportunity to understand like how does the staffer hold how the staffer thing works. I don't know. I don't know how that works yet, but one day I'm gonna take the time to figure that out. That we have Jill Reese saying funny enough, they all change and hate him. Milagro says, notice how he's lying and he's throwing it over to someone else. Yeah, now it's the staffer that did it, right? And like I was saying, like I would think that there should be checks and balances when you post things when you're in any position of leadership, right? So J.L. Reed says Comedy Central's road shows you how and he was then shortly after they shunned him. Okay, we got Abby saying the president controls social media posts. That's cap. That's what I thought too, Abby. I thought that because I mean, he's one of the presidents. I think he's the most social media active president that I've seen. So I thought that he controlled it too. Honestly, we got W12ATH040211. Welcome to the live stream. Saying who cares? Then we got Isla Crazy says Democrat and his cronies. Abby is saying to Milagros Diaz, he's notorious for playing the blame game. Gotcha. We got Jill Reed saying all those around him are not for him, so it makes sense they could put it on there to create drama for him. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Yes, because I don't know anyone in their right mind. Okay, there's a few because I've seen a few of y'all talking about the meme and y'all seen it support it, but for the majority of people that work in that type of environment, right? They would not be they wouldn't be as willing to post that unless someone told them to do that. You know what I'm saying? And they're playing the unnamed scapegoat being the staffer. But what else we got here? We got Milagro saying trumpets claimed many times that he's the one that posts everything on True Social. Okay. Okay. Then we got Jella Reed saying homeless crisis, $45 million deficit, business is shuttered. Saying you basically we got more important things to talk about, right? I hear you, J.L. Reed. Okay, we got Lavonda in the house. Hey girl, welcome to the live stream. Yeah. She says, great day, everyone. So we got Blue saying, are you upset they took your snap? What snap you talking about? I'm not on welfare. What you talking about with snap? And welcome to the live stream, Blue. So we got Blue saying Lavonda has entered the chat. So we got Milagro saying absolutely 100% correct. You would never let somebody just send something out like that without your consent. Exactly. Exactly. Let's put this back a little bit, y'all. Exactly. So Lavonda is giving Lou a shout out, and Jill Reed said thanks for the thoughts. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on from that, y'all. What we got next here? So we had the Super Bowl last night. I'm gonna just be honest. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I was tired. Okay. I didn't watch Super Bowl. I was tired, and I did catch a little bit of the little halftime show. And then I saw that Kid Rock had a show. Y'all, I did not know that there was a Trump. What's it called? What's it called? We had the Super Bowl halftime show, and then we had the Erica Kirk them show with Kid Rock. I forgot the name of it. Let me see something real quick, y'all. What was that show called that they had last night? Because I was like, what? I'm like, what? Where did this come from? Let me see. He had his own show yesterday. That was the Turning Point Super Bowl show. I have never seen such of a setup. I have not. And I ain't watched neither one of them. So you know how we go. So what we got here. So we got Lavonda talking about, girl, I just screamed. Lavonda, why are you screaming over there? What's going on? Oh, we got JL Reed saying seeing California, the shape it is in. Having Gavin has better to talk about. Okay. We got Michael Avery in the house. Welcome to the live stream. Lavonda saying, oh, when I say I'm not on Snap, I'm not on Snap. I'm not. I'm trying to answer what these people talking about. Like, I'm not on Snap. And I thought Snap was funded through the end of the fiscal year. So who not getting Snap benefits in 2026? They changed the rules, right? But I've never been on it. But I'm gonna tell you this though, when I was in college, I tried to get some food stamps when I was in college, but my work study assignment didn't qualify, so I couldn't get no food stamps. Okay. So I had to just use my refund check money to buy my groceries when I was in college, honey. And I made too much money today to qualify for anything. What I would like a SNAP type benefit on is these taxes that I pay every year. I have to pay federal tax, state tax, and local tax. Baby, I'm paying somebody's salaries, with the taxes I pay. Baby, don't get me talking about that. All these doggone taxes I got to pay around here. I probably need some SNAP. Okay. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all got me on a tangent here. Do you guess how much my electricity bill is? I'm gonna tell my electricity bill is $294 for an apartment. Now, yeah, I got these 20 some feet ceilings up in here, and I got this wall of windows and everything. So it stay cold in here. I got to keep the heat going. But let me tell y'all, honey, people around here charging folks. When I had my house, I had a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage house over 2,000 square feet in San Antonio, and my electric bill was never no $294. Never was it that. But let me get off that with the utility costs, okay? So, okay, Milagro, thank you, girl. It's called Truth Social. Y'all know I be forgetting what stuff is. Okay, so we got Jerry saying listening from Dutchess County, upstate New York. Okay, hey, welcome to the live stream, upstate New York. I'm planning to go up in that direction one day. Not while it's cold though. That's on my tour for the summer. Okay, going to upstate New York, going to the New England area, to Maine. I'm trying to do it all, honey, this summer. Yes, and I'm gonna do a vlog on it. Okay. So we got Saved by Grace. Welcome to the live stream. I love how they try to act like the Obamas aren't involved in scandals. Girl, what scandal are they involved in? Let me know something. And I mean that genuinely. So we got Percy John, welcome to the live stream, saying, yes, it's Trumpy Dumpy. Y'all be coming up with these names. I promise y'all, I be reading this stuff like, what am I reading? Y'all come up with all type of names for these people that I have never heard of. Seriously. I don't have the right algorithm, I guess. So we have Robert saying, check your facts and get things right. Fools following fools. You can't make this stuff up. Robert, welcome to the live stream. And what are you talking about in particular? So we got Milagro saying, you want to know what's so funny? Trump didn't even watch it. He wanted Bunny show when he watched Bunny show when he swears he hates him. Got you. Then we got Michael Foster saying, tax you at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Yes. Percy John saying, well, that's 150 what, euro? 150 euro, Percy John? Abby says, mine is 125 to 130 a month. I mean, okay, so like in the spring and the summer, it's usually around that. It really is. It could be under $100. I don't know why these, and this is not this is the 1 month bill. This ain't no multiple month bills, honey. This is the 1 month bill. Yes. I was just like, this is ridiculous. But they charge you here like a supply. It's like broken into two things, like supply and delivery. Now, my hairdresser told me that her husband told her that she got to start cutting stuff off around the house. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I don't know. He was saying that the bills had been going up. Baby, when I looked at my bill the other day and saw that $294, I was like, I see why folks out here can't pay these electric bills. This stuff is high. And it's too cold not to have the heat on. And let me tell y'all, I don't have the heat on like, it don't be hot. You know what I'm saying? Like I usually like 72, 70, you know. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a whole lot, but I'm telling you, it's these windows, I think, and these tall ceilings up in here. We got Demasha saying just the yapping. I sure am yapping because I'm here talking to the people. So if they want to talk to me in this chat, I'm gonna talk to them. That's what we do here. Now, you are welcome to stay here, Demonstras, or you are free to go. But when my people come here to this live stream and they chat with me in the chat, I'm gonna respond to them every time. That's what it is. Okay. So we got my girl, All Things Key Nicole here saying, keep it cute or go play in traffic. I know that's right. We're going to let Demontrus keep, making his comments and help my engagement continue to go up. So we're going to let him do that. All right. We got Milagro saying that upstate New York is beautiful, but don't go in the winter. It is so cold. Oh my God. I won't be. So we got Matt 6 Bar in the house. Welcome. Saying, welcome to hear a smoke alarm chirp. Baby, you should have came here beginning of January because my it was chirping for about a day. But I got these high ceilings, so I had to call in the people, the maintenance to come and change that battery out. Because I can't be doing that chirping noise. It is what you call it? Annoying. Okay, y'all. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and play this next video, okay? Because we'll be sitting here talking all day. So I'm gonna show you the thing about Trump and Bad Bunny. Let's get into it.
God bless America! Benito, how was it out there? How was it?
That was great.
Bad Bunny's Apple Music halftime show ripped apart by Donald Trump on Truth Social as, quote, one of the worst ever. The Grammy winner's Spanish-language performance, which Trump labels a slap in the face to our country, was a celebration of America, with shout-outs to countries and territories across North and South America, including his home, Puerto Rico, part of the U.S.
A my motherland, mi patria, Puerto Rico. Seguimos aquí.
The God timing, it's perfect, and estoy muy agradecido. I'm very happy and grateful. Biggest pleasure is just create, have fun doing it, and connect with the people.
The president taking offense to Benito's Spanish, writing, "Nobody understands a word this guy is saying," calling it an affront to the greatness of America, and seemingly confirming he did not tune into Turning Point USA's counter-programming, the Kid Rock headlined All-American halftime show.
Si hoy estoy aquí en el Super por 60, es porque nunca dejé de creer en mí. Tú también deberías de creer en ti.
So y'all, did y'all even watch the Super Bowl halftime show? Did you guys watch the Turning Point USA halftime show? What did y'all look at? Because I was tired. I ain't see none of it. What y'all looked at yesterday? Okay, we got SL5855 in the house. Welcome. Saying I loved it. It showed us that we are all Americans. Yes, that's what I got from what I did see, of his performance. And I want to say the football that he was holding at the end was saying that we are all Americans, right? And I thought it was pretty cool. I liked the concept. You know what I'm saying? Because Puerto Rico is part of the United States. You know what I'm saying? They don't get a lot of love, in my opinion. But yeah. Wait a minute. We got Her Descartes, HERR. Welcome to the live stream. We watched the halftime show and enjoyed it. I saw nothing wrong with it. So then we got, okay, I didn't think anything was wrong with it. And then I realized that the little boy that was in there with him at the beginning, that I think he was supposed to represent Liam, the little 5-year-old that got detained last week and finally came home, but it wasn't the actual Liam. So I saw that, and then a couple actually got married for real during the performance at the Super Bowl. So that was pretty cool. So Pablo, welcome to the live stream. Pablo had a lot to say. He says, no, it wasn't. It was a mockery. He was mocking America. Then he put down, see, if you knew Spanish, you'd know he's making fun of you. That's the wrong analysis. So you're right, Pablo. I don't know Spanish. You're right, I don't. So we got Katie Higgins here saying hi from Idaho. Hey, I've been to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I used to live in Spokane. So I would drive over to Coeur d'Alene to like a little resort. It was nice. It's cold out there. I can't do that. I can't do the cold there no more. So we got what else we got here? We got Abby saying the music and beats were nice. Yeah, that last song that he went out on, I like that song. Never knew that was him until I looked that up just now. We got Her Descartes saying Puerto Rico is part of the United States of America and Puerto Ricans are Americans. That's right. All things King Nicole said, baby, I was at a Super Bowl party all up under my man, eating several low vibrational plates. The only thing that had my attention was Coco Jones singing the national anthem. Girl, you had a wonderful time. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes. All things King Nicole said, I want to be my man. Okay, girl, I love that for you. This card test says torture. I consider a chirpy smoke detector to be torture. Laugh out loud. Yes, it was. Look, I can't do it. I cannot. I keep those big batteries. I keep them on deck here. So if I ever have anything that go out, I got it right here. I ain't got to go run to the store. I got them here. Can you please come by here and change this out? Because I don't do heights. Yes. So we got Kevin Mullen saying you sound like a nice person. I think so. I do. Thank you for the compliment. Yes. Positive and happy. Yes. Thank you. I mean, I want us to have a good time and look at these videos, chat, vibe, talk. I don't have any wine today, but I am drinking sweet tea. And I got me some ice water, okay? That's what I got. Because when I drink wine, I be ready to fall asleep, okay? And I be on here talking to y'all for a minute, so I got to make sure I keep my faculties up, okay? So Abby says, you used to live in Spokane, Washington. What was that like? Oh, it was cold. It was very cold. Shoveling snow twice a day type of cold. But it was beautiful in the spring and the summertime. If you're big into outdoors, then it's perfect for those kind of folks. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the area. Yeah, I mean, they have a couple of ski resorts. So I went to a ski resort. I went horseback riding, stuff like that. I would go over to Seattle to the other side. That's an hour flight. I took a road trip up to Portland. I drove through the Columbia Gorge. What I did not get to do, I did not get to like drive to Montana and go to some like Glacial National Park, I think it's called. So I want to go back to Spokane and then like drive around to Montana and other places and and see like part of Yellowstone. I think I can get there from there as well. I gotta map it out. But I was only there for about 18 months and then I got moved back to Texas. So we got Glad to Be Golden here saying the Super Bowl hired a Spanish singing performer, so I had nothing against it. But check this out, Glad to Be Golden. They don't get paid when they do the Super Bowl performances. The artists, they have to pay for their own setup. Yeah. So everything you see in the show, that's paid for primarily by the artist. It's not paid for by the Super Bowl, by the NFL. I learned that a while ago. Yep. So we got Kelvin saying, I love happy folks. A lot of hate here in Kentucky. Wow. We got Kevin Awthorne, 8693 in the house. Hey. Understanding that the NFL wants to become a worldwide entity, the halftime show made total sense to me. I don't speak Spanish, but I enjoyed the concept of the show. I thought it was pretty cool. And you're right, because one of my coworkers told me that the NFL did like some games overseas. And I think her husband and her went to like Spain to a game. Yeah. And that's what I learned that they were trying to expand, to, outside the US. I like football, but I'm not like a football head. So I didn't know. But that's kind of cool. So we have all things Key Nicole saying I had a smart opinion at first. I was like, why would they pick Bad Bunny? Don't nobody know his music. Then I thought about it. I was like, okay, maybe he was chosen for exposure. Mm-hmm. Probably so. Yeah. But think about it. I want to say they chose him before all this immigration stuff, right? Like he probably got chosen like sometime with early fall. And I want to say like all this immigration things and Minneapolis kind of kicked off like in the last couple of months. So, but yeah, I think it is good for exposure and having something different. So Abby says, what's up? Her says, my family and I watched Bad Bunny. We had no interest in Turning Point, and I think it was bad judgment for Turning Point to try to compete with the Super Bowl. Turning Point isn't that big or important. Thank you, Fashionista. Yes. So you know what? I wonder how many people actually watched that. I wonder if I can find that real quick. Like how many people tuned in to the Turning Point show? Cause y'all, I was half asleep, and I'm like, I said, why is Kid Rock on here performing something? So they said that it peaked that the All American halftime show peaked at approximately 5 to 6.1 million concurrent viewers on YouTube. Okay, the alternative show running during the Super Bowl LX halftime garnered over 19 million total views on YouTube, with officials claiming over 25 million views across platforms. Okay, so it was 5 to 6.1 million concurrent views, but overall, about 25 million across platforms, including Rumble. Okay, so how many did they have for the Super Bowl? Let's see. Now, y'all know I got other videos, right? Okay, so they're saying that the actual halftime show for Super Bowl was about 142.3. Wait a minute, hold on. Between 135 to 142.3 million views. That they broke Kendrick Lamar's record, which was 133.5. So okay, Bad Bunny did his thing. Now, did you guys see where Chris Brown had said that the NFL needed him? Did y'all see that? I was like, Chris Brown. I was like, he sure did put it out there that he needed that the NFL need him. Okay, so Pablo says, why are you lying about him not mocking the US? Pablo, who said that? Pablo, what are you talking about, honey? Because you're right, I do not know Spanish. So I don't know what we're talking about here, Pablo. Talk to me in the comments. What's going on here? Kelvin Mullins said, first time I ever seen BB and I really liked him. I don't listen to the lyrics anyway. It was a damn good show too. Okay. Yeah, that last song is was one of my favorites of his. And he also did a song with Cardi B. We got Candy Corey in the house. Hey. He says everything just made me want to go to Puerto Rico for vacay. I know, right? Cause this cold is something else. My goodness. We got her saying first thought that it was Liam Ramos, but according to the New York Times comment, that was an actor maybe representing art and success in new generations to come. Yes, I thought that was Liam too. But you're right, it was an actor. It was. Yup. So a golf Twitter, welcome to the live stream. It's a golf Twitter. They suppressed taking a knee to they suppressed taking a knee to protest hold on. Okay, Agolf, let me get this together, Agolf. They suppressed taking a knee to protest police brutality, and they protested singing in Spanish. 143 million viewers makes that the new record, previous record held by Kendrick Lamar just last year. Yes. Okay, so we got Brian, Cuckoos, Trump, Lasser. Y'all don't know what that means. Okay, so we got Corey saying any do CB. That's Chris Brown, I believe. We says VR2K8 says Turning Point USA had enough for the NFL to worry. Enough views, I think you're talking about. Yeah, they did have quite a few views for what I just remember. What I just read, I forgot the numbers already, but they did pretty big numbers. So Kelvin says I was forced to watch it at the place where I was at. It really sucked, especially Kid Rock. Now, what really got my attention, which you guys may not know, is that when I was younger, I know you can't believe that there was anything younger when I am right now. But I was really into rock and roll, okay? And did y'all know that the lead singer for Three Doors Down passed away this weekend? Because I really was into I liked certain songs that they had, like with Creed and Linkin Park and what's the other one? Three Doors Down and Nickelback. There were certain songs that I liked that they performed. So y'all, when I was what, 19? I was 19 or 20. And I had a internship. And I went to Madison, Wisconsin for the summer. And that's when I got into like the rock and roll type stuff. Yes, honey. I was big in it. So when I saw that man passed away, I think he had cancer of some kind. I was like, well, I had to go back and play all my old music, y'all. Then I saw Kid Rock. I'm like, what is he doing? But yeah, let me just keep going. So Lavonna said, she said, let me go Google Three Doors Down. Girl, yes. They be singing that. One of my favorite songs is not by Three Doors Down. It's by what's it called? Let me find it. It's called With Arms Wide Open. I forgot which of one of those bands sings that Arms Wide Open. That's Creed. Yeah, Creed sang that one. And then the other one I liked was You Remind Me. Yeah. Who sings that song? Is that Nickelback? Let me see. I don't listen to it often anymore. Let me see. You Remind Me. Yeah, it's How You Remind Me. That's by Nickelback. Yeah. Yes. I'm multifaceted, y'all. Okay, y'all. Let me get back on task here. All right. So, y'all, it's so many comments here. I can't read all these. So I'm gonna just pick some. Okay, so we got Lavonna said, I know the others you named, but not this group. Okay, yeah, Three Doors Down, yeah. Yep. They were getting ready to go on tour, but he got sick and he discovered he had the cancer that had metastasized to, I want to say, the lung. And he passed away, I want to say, I think it was on Saturday. He was 47. Yes. We got Agop saying sausage fests are not for me. What sausage fest you talking about, Agop? What we talking about here? We got Olden in the house saying enjoy your war on intelligence and children. What war on intelligence and children? Sports has destroyed the price of an education. Okay. All right. So let me keep going, y'all. So what I got next. Okay. So I don't know if y'all are aware, but they have this governors association thing, right? And so annually Trump does I guess like a meeting with them. And so typically it's a bipartisan meeting, right? Where you have the Republicans and the Democrats attend. And so this year it's going to be Republicans only for the meeting. And then for the dinner, he's inviting Democrats to it as well for the dinner. But he did not invite Wes Moore, governor of Maryland, and he didn't invite the governor of Colorado. And so Governor Wes Moore was being interviewed, and I thought the way he answered the questions was like, I said, you know what? He know when he's being somewhat baited. We're gonna play this. Check this out, and then we're gonna talk about it. Let's get into it.
Governor, later this month, President Trump, will host an annual meeting of governors at the White House. He's only inviting Republican governors to that, which is traditionally a bipartisan event. And he's specifically excluding you and Democratic Governor Jared Polis from a separate dinner. You're the vice chair of the National Governors Association. Do you know why you are being called out and excluded?
See that?
It's particularly confusing because just a few weeks ago, and I led a group of Democratic and Republican governors to the White House. And we had a meeting with the White House where we signed a memorandum of understanding around energy and trying to increase energy supply and bring down energy costs. And so one thing I know is this, is that you can uninvite, you can untweet, but you can never erase. And so if I was selected by my peers, both Democratic and Republican governors, to serve as the vice chair of the National Governors Association, we focus on getting things done for our people, and we're not interested in being able to go to fancy dinners with the president if he wants to exclude certain members. So since the president had decided that I'm not going to be invited, this will not be an NGA event.
Meaning what?
Meaning the NGA will not support this dinner. If the president wants to have a dinner with his friends and have a black tie dinner with his friends on that night, that is perfectly fine. It will not be an NGA event.
And you have a commitment from Republican governors on that?
Oh, we have a commitment from the organization. This is a bipartisan organization where Democratic and Republican governors come together to work on addressing the needs of our people. And I'm honored that my peers selected me to be the vice chair of it. I'm thankful for the leadership of Kevin Stitt, a Republican, the Republican governor from Oklahoma, who serves as the chair. And we know that in this time, the president cannot use this time to divide our organization. Our organization stands firm that if you exclude one, you exclude us all, and this will not be an NGA event.
Governor, before I let you go, I just want to understand what you think the reason is that you are being singled out, and Jared Polis, but from your perspective, why are you being excluded from this dinner?
Well, I've long learned that I'm not trying to get inside over the president's psyche. It's not a good use of my time. It's not lost to me that I'm the only black governor in this country, and I find that to be particularly painful, considering the fact that the president is trying to exclude me from an organization that not only are my peers have asked me to help to lead, but then also a place where I know I belong in. And so I've long learned, and I've talked to the people and the children of my state, is that I'm never in a room because of someone's benevolence nor kindness. I'm not in a room because of a social experiment. I'm in the room because I belong there, and the room was incomplete until I got there.
You're saying that he's excluding you because of the color of your skin?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak to the president's intent. It's not lost to me, but I can't speak to the president's.
Okay, yeah, that was a word. He said he complete the room. Y'all hear that? Yes, honey. It was incomplete until you walked up in there. Okay. We should all feel that way. Okay. Now, Corey says 47 is way too young. It is. Yes. Lavonda says 47, that's only a year older than I am. Mm-hmm. Yep. User TTBR says, first of all, welcome to the live stream. No Democrat was invited. Yeah, no, the Democrats were not invited to the business meeting that's happening during the daytime, but for the dinner, he's inviting Democrats and Republicans to the dinner. And so only 2 Democrats were not invited to the dinner. And that was Governor Westmore and then the governor out of Colorado. Yeah. So I'm not sure. And I never knew that there was only one black governor in the United States. I learned that today, listening to this. And my understanding is that for Colorado, there was a lady that Trump pardoned. And Trump's pardons he can't pardon like state type crimes. And so they're not honoring his pardon of this woman in Colorado. So I don't know if that is why this person isn't being invited, but yeah. Yes. So a golf Twitler says liberty is not a pie. When your neighbor gets a slice, it won't leave less for you and yours. Liberty is not a zero-sum game. Baby, a golf be around here with the sentences, honey. Got me right here tongue tied. Keep them coming. Liberty is not a pie. When your neighbor gets a slice, it won't leave less for you in yours. Liberty is not a zero-sum game. Okay. We got behavioral finance headquarters in the house. Welcome. Say, I finally rediscovered you. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, okay? Yes. He said, I couldn't seem to search your channel until today. Yes. I am here, okay? Make sure you support the channel. Go ahead on and hit that notification bell. I've been here posting and doing things. Happy New Year to you. Yes, I haven't seen you in a while. Last time you had on a cowboy hat. Yeah, I had on one when I went live. I think every day last week I had on a cowboy hat. I still wear them. I do. And it's cold here. I gotta have a hat on. Yes, it is too cold. I just subscribed and liked. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Yes, I do. Okay, yes, I do. Okay, so we got hers Descartes. I'm probably saying that wrong. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, no one can make you feel inferior or mocked without your consent. It's all in how you look at things, and if you want to take offense, you always can. Y'all coming through with the words today with the quotes. Okay. So I saw that Milagro, she had to leave, but I hope that she has her a blessed night as well. Enjoyed her being here. And okay, so what we got next here, y'all? So Mr. Lou sent me this story about TSA. And I never knew that if you have cash on you, that TSA can pretty much take the money and think that you're doing something illegal to get it. Now, in my opinion, the amount of money is alarming, but it could be, they said on the video, like $101 bills. So let's go ahead and get into that, okay? Okay, so behavior saying, what do you like about today? My live today this is a check-in where we're talking about the things in the news. So far, we've talked about the Obama meme when when their faces were put on apes. We talked about that. Gavin Newsom's response. We talked about, look at my notes here. We talked about Trump not liking Bad Bunny's NFL performance. We talked about Westmore not being included in this meeting that they're having for all the governors. And then we're going to talk about a couple other things too. So Thursday is going to be more of my foolery type of videos, okay? But yes, we're going to be serious with the topics right now for this for the check-in, okay? But yes, but we're going to still have a good time either way, all right? So we have Cookie 2026. Welcome to the live stream. Saying kindness is the highest level of wisdom. It really is. Kindness, respect, all of that. You can get what they say back home. You can get more bees with honey than with vinegar. There you go. Her says that's a shame to die so young. I know, right? Yes. So behavior said, even if I had $1, you talking about with the people at TSA. Let me go ahead and play this for y'all so we can talk and know what I'm talking about here. Let's get into it.
And the White House is responding to criticism after President Trump posted a video that
y'all.
includes.
I didn't change the video. Hold on.
In a case that made national headlines 6 years ago, the TSA seized thousands of dollars in cash from a woman at Pittsburgh International Airport. She said it was an inheritance. The feds said they thought it was tied to a crime. That woman is now part of a class action lawsuit, and today a judge heard arguments. Ross Gadati was there.
Attorneys for 3 individuals suing the federal government after making arguments in federal court walked out of the court confident that they made their point in front of a federal judge.
We think there's no dispute of material facts that the TSA unlawfully and unconstitutionally stops and seizes travelers with cash at the airport even though it admits that cash poses no threat to transportation security.
The Institute for Justice is representing the three individuals in a class action lawsuit claiming the TSA confiscated cash from the travelers because they suspected it may have been gained by potentially illegal means.
I do think that, this was unconstitutional what the TSA did for me.
Rebecca Brown is party to the suit. She claims the TSA stopped her at the Pittsburgh International Airport and the Drug Enforcement Agency confiscated $82,000 from her as she was heading from Pittsburgh to Boston in the summer of 2019. The money was Brown's father's life savings. Now, he had asked Miss Brown to take it and open up an account in Boston for him. It would take more than a half a year to get the money back after the federal government determined it was, for lack of a better word, clean. Attorneys for the government say the agents were working within their guidelines and asked the suit to be dismissed. Albin says the problem is that while there may be suggestions, there are no guidelines when it comes to just how much money is considered suspicious.
And in some of the TSA depositions, they said as little as $100 in $101 bills would still count as a large amount of currency.
Attorneys for the government declined any comment on today's proceedings. The next step, federal magistrate judge Kezia O.L. Taylor told the parties, although she will not give a timeline, she will take the testimony under advisement, submit a report and recommendation to U.S. District Judge Marilyn Horan, who will then issue a final order and opinion if either party's summary judgment will be granted. At federal court, Ross Gadati, KDKA TV News.
So what y'all think about that? Like I said, that lady was traveling $80,000 cash. Now, I can understand why they may think, okay, she got a lot of cash. That's some drug mule money. But when they said you could have $101 bills, I'm like, really? Come on. But I guess they're gonna go, I guess they're going the distance to kind of make them have some standardized guidance and processes for like how much cash is considered suspicious. Like, I just don't know. What we got here? There it is. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Man, he speaks with eloquence. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. All right, y'all. So that was very interesting. I learned something new there. That's why I don't travel a lot of cash. I sure don't. So, okay, y'all. So over the weekend, there were 50 ICE protesters. I want to say it was 42 that were arrested. So we're going to go on that a little bit. So let's check that out real fast.
Police arresting nearly 50 protesters outside of a federal building in Minneapolis as Homeland Security warns of escalating attacks.
Why did this stop?
On ICE agents. The senior correspondent, Steve Harrigan, live in Minneapolis with the latest from there. Steve.
Kevin, that protest out in front of the federal building in Minneapolis turned violent after protesters were told to disperse. At least 42 people were arrested when they were told they had to break it up. Many began throwing bottles and ice at the federal agents. At least one agent wounded, one patrol car smashed up, one protester arrested for assault. In the meantime here, these daily protests are really taking a toll on the local economy, especially small businesses and restaurants having a hard time. Local entrepreneurs trying to encourage people to buy local, many saying that this is worse for businesses than even COVID was.
My co-founder and I stopped by a restaurant on our street and ended up filling to-go orders for them because more than 50% of his staff is gone. Afraid to come to work for fear of being taken by ICE, even as U.S. citizens, even with work permits, even with the right paperwork.
We've lived through this before during COVID in 2020 following the murder of George Floyd, and we're living through it again, and this time it's worse.
So y'all, hold on. It never occurred to me that with all the immigration stuff going on in Minneapolis, that anyone would compare that to what went on during the pandemic, with them not having, I guess, suitable staff to get things done, and people being afraid to go out their home. Like, I never thought about that until she just said it. So let's keep it going. But let me just say this too: like, people keep saying, peaceful protest. But y'all, these videos don't look very peaceful to me. They do not look peaceful at all. So we got Chris Molina saying, I support ICE 100%. I heard that. Let's keep this going.
100 ICE agents were pulled out on Wednesday. That still leaves 2,000 here. So far, no public timeline on when they will be leaving. Kevin, back to you.
Stay warm or do the best you can. Steve Harrigan up in Minneapolis. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate that. Joining me now is Chad Wolf, former DHS Secretary and America First Policy Institute Executive Director. Always a pleasure to have you with us because I know you understand better than most the severity of the circumstance in Minneapolis. We're not just talking about trying to rid the homeland of individuals who have no right to be here, but have also, Chad, created havoc on this nation and on its people. That's why what's happening there is such an important storyline, even at this hour. You saw Steve there talking about the removal of some of these protesters. That seems to be a bit of a shift or maybe a bit of tightening on their policy, and it seems to be working. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the ongoing violent protest, you just reported you had 40 individuals arrested because of that violence. I think this is a real problem for Minneapolis and for those Democratic leaders there, because what they have been telling the American people is that those protests are peaceful and that if ICE withdraws, then some of that protest and some of the violence, I should say, can abate. And it doesn't seem to be the case. So what we need now is we need the leadership of the Democratic Party to come out and start saying, stop with the violent protesting, stop with the violence there in Minneapolis. Because as Tom Homan has said, if the violence subsides, then they can draw down even more resources there in Minneapolis, which is what those leaders want. But if that violence continues, as we see, that the numbers aren't going to dwindle. In fact, they're likely to go up because you need to protect those officers. So now is the time that you need Democratic leaders to say enough is enough. We're going to send in the police. We're going to arrest the violent protesters immediately. We're going to hold them accountable. And now is the time for them to start speaking out.
Is this a federal law circumstance? Because I think the concern from some, Chad, would be you're going to arrest these guys. They're just going to be back out on the streets in a couple of hours.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's going to be prosecuted at the local level for the most part, unless, you've got federal law enforcement and prosecutors that want to weigh in. It depends on the types of things that they're being arrested for. If they're assaulting federal officers, obviously a federal prosecutor can get involved. If they're doing other things that are more locally based, then some of the local prosecutors will eventually prosecute that. But the concern is, yes, absolutely, they go in jail and then they just simply get out in a matter of hours. I think that is the concern. And so you need the Trump administration weighing in with the local leaders, talking to the governor, talking to the mayor, and talking to others to say, look, we're doing our part. We've withdrawn some ICE assets here because we told you if the violence starts to diminish, we can remove even more. But if the violence stays the same or is increasing, that's a real problem for the leaders there in Minneapolis.
Yeah, and a lot of people felt like, well, they changed. They took a 700-person drawdown. But listen, more than 2,000 people still on the ground trying to affect a change in what's been happening there. And give Tom Homan credit. Here's a guy who has come in, Chad, and really sort of shifted the narrative just a bit. And again, and I think the messaging is part of this. We're not talking about running around to some office building or some restaurant. We're talking about getting the worst of the worst out of this country, off the streets, and no longer a danger to its citizens.
Well, you're absolutely right. Look, the president's decision to send Tom in it was a stroke of genius. And Tom has been able to go in over this past week or more with a very calm voice, so a really rational response, outlining what it is ICE was going to do, shifting some resources, shifting some of the operational requirements there on the ground. And I think the American people are starting to realize that. But now is the time for Minneapolis to do their part. Now is the time for the local leaders to do their part and make sure that the violence does not get out of control and that they are stepping in and putting an end to it, because then that cooperation can continue. But if you see a spike in some of the violent activity there, DHS is going to, it's going to protect its officers. And so those resources, the 2,000 or so that remain, are likely not going anywhere if that violence continues.
Absolutely, and you have to do what you can and what you obviously are required to do, and that is protect this country from those who might harm us. And by the way, for the record, you mentioned Tom Homan. He's obviously also working now with counties to make sure that they can, again, take this sort of out of the public purview. Let's get the people who are already in custody out of there as quickly as possible. Chad Wolf, great to see you, my friend. Thank you for your time today.
Lord. Okay. What y'all saying here in the chat? Okay, so her is saying, I think it has to be over 10K though. What's over 10K? Chris Molina says those violent protesters should be charged as terrorists. Her says, who of us has not tried to cross the border with over 10K in cash in our suitcase? Who has not tried? I have not tried. Yes, I have not. I'd be so afraid I would get robbed. I'm not trying to have too much cash for me at any point in time. So if anybody, if you run up on me, I ain't got no cash on me, okay? I do not. So you're gonna be very disappointed if you try that. So behavioral says, how you enjoy ATL? I heard 50/50 reviews. You were close to my way. I'm in South Carolina. I love Atlanta. You have definitely got to go to Atlanta. You too close not to go. I've been to South Carolina. I've been to Charleston. Where else? I went to is Sumter in South Carolina? Or is that North Carolina? I've been to both of the Carolinas. But I went to near Sumter. I had to go out there for work around this time last year, and it was cold. My goodness. So Chris Molina says if you charge them as a terrorist, they won't immediately get out of jail. Got you. Corey says I took out 3K to see how I feel. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But look, I ain't know they can sit here and take your money talking about, oh, it's illegally obtained. Like that's a lot. So thank you to the lady on the video for trying to get some guidance out here for the TSA folks. So they're not just taking people money. Then you gotta wait a year. She had to wait over a year to get her 80-some thousand dollars back. That's what got me. So we got behavioral saying he ready for 2028. It's just it just got to be 2026, but I understand what you're talking about. So we got Lou saying I carry $2, one for the bus fare and one for the jukebox to go hit some blues. That's a song. Johnny Taylor, my last $2. Yes. So Chris Molina said I haven't used cash in forever. Sumter is in South Carolina. I used to live there. Okay, yep, that's where I went last winter. Well, January last year. He says Veroxide said, was that English? What you talking about? Okay, her says the TSA can also take your cell phone and look to see who you've been talking to. Anyone crossing the border in or out of the United States will be wise to get a burner phone. I didn't know that. Behavior said, you thinking about moving to Atlanta? I'm close to Charlotte and plan to be more social active with events, but yes, AT is on my bucket list. Baby, Charlotte ain't but like a 5-hour drive from Atlanta. I drove through Charlotte when I moved here. If you don't make a plan to go to Atlanta by May, you need to go there. Yes, go find those travel influencer people. There's a guy, he lives in Raleigh, I think, and he just did a video where he went on a road trip to Atlanta and it was a food tour. Yes, you need to go find these people, plan your trip. They got some really good restaurants down there. Charlotte got good restaurants too. Because I did spend the night in Charlotte. I was at the Renaissance across from the nice little mall area, so I didn't get to see much. But I do want to go back to Charlotte, to the Queen City, so I can see some things. Oh, yes. So behavioral says, I do believe in deportation if whoever is illegal, but there's a better, safe way to get it done. So hopefully the new guy in Minnesota is doing better than the last one. I hope so, y'all. We're going to see. So next up, we have Liam, the little 5-year-old with little bunny ears that got detained and went down to Dilley, Texas, just got out and got back home last Tuesday. They are trying to expedite the deportation of him and his parents. So let's get into that.
Well, national focus has drifted away a bit from Minneapolis. The fight against the federal occupation there continues. Just today, people gathered again in really frigid temperatures to hold a vigil at the memorial site for Alex Preddy and to protest the thousands of immigration agents that remain there, going all over the city, intimidating people, scaring them, keeping them inside, and grabbing them off the street. Members of the community are out there fighting for their neighbors, like 5-year-old Liam Ramos, who was taken with his father by immigration agents and sent to a detention center in Texas last month. Earlier this week, Liam and his father were finally returned to Minneapolis, thanks in part to a judge's order and in large part to the efforts of Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro. But now the Trump administration is, you'll never guess what, trying to immediately deport Liam again. In fact, an immigration attorney representing the family told Minneapolis Public Radio the Department of Homeland Security filed a motion Wednesday to expedite deportation proceedings in the family's case. For their part, DHS claims this was a normal deportation proceeding today. Late this evening, we received word from an official with Liam's school district that the court granted the family a continuance in today's asylum hearing, which postpones the case for now. Kika Matos is the president of the National Immigration Law Center, which represents and advocates for immigrants. She joins me now. Kika, it's good to have you on. I want to just ask about what feels very much like a retaliatory movement here. Obviously, Ramos's case got a lot of attention. That photo was sort of instantly iconic. A judge ordered him released in a scathing order, basically not very happy with what the federal government had presented. And then they immediately moved to deport him and say, no, this is all just regular order. We're not retaliating. Is that credible?
No, it is most certainly not credible. And the administration has done this before. It seems that every time we have a situation where a grave injustice has been committed and directed towards an immigrant, and Americans begin to speak out, that the administration retaliates by threatening to deport them, even if it means that the administration is violating the law. We saw this with Gilmar Abrego Garcia. We saw this with Mahmoud Khalil, and now we're seeing this with a 5-year-old child and his father, who, I should add, entered the country lawfully.
That point about Gilmar Abrego Garcia, I think it's worth taking a second just for that, because obviously we covered that story, closely. He was shipped off to this, sort of black hole gulag. A combination of political pressure and a judge's order forced him back, and immediately they try to deport him. And then they bring federal charges against him. And then those federal charges don't look like they're doing very well, so then they try to move to deport him again. And it really did feel like they were had the posture, you embarrassed us, we're going to make you pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's almost the equivalent of throwing spaghetti up on the ceiling and saying we're just going to try everything we possibly can to have him deported, but also to terrorize, to intimidate, to humiliate this immigrant, and also to send a message to other immigrants, right, and other people in this country, because I think what we are seeing is authoritarianism. This is what will happen to you if you try to mess with us.
In the case of Liam Ramos as a father, it seems illustrative, and part of the reason I think it captured imaginations is because he's a child.
Right.
There's other children from that school district who were taken. I think all of but one has been returned, but one possibly still down in Dilley, if I have that right. And it sort of typifies what's been happening in Minnesota. There was no, as far as I know, there was no final removal order. This was not an individual, his father, who had been convicted of some grave and violent crime. And there was on a list, and ICE agents were sent out. They were just basically grabbed, and they used the child essentially as bait to get him, and they shipped him down to Dilley as soon as they could. That seems like that's become basically the modus operandi for how they're operating in Minnesota. Is that right?
Yes, and let us remember that this administration said that they were only going to go after the hardened criminals and that everybody else was going to be safe. You could hardly call this 5-year-old child a hardened criminal. You can't call his father a hardened criminal because his father doesn't have a criminal history. What they are doing is engaging in mass deportations, and they don't care about whether you have legal status in the country and you're, for example, pursuing your asylum application. They don't care if you've been living in this country for decades and contributing to the fabric of society. All they care about is this mass deportation machinery, and their effort, their aim, their goal is to try to deport as many people as possible. Constitutional rights be damned. That is what is so egregious about what is happening in the country right now. And let me say, Minnesota is ground zero for that, but we should expect that this is going to be happening all over the country. It happened in D.C., it happened in L.A., it happened in Chicago. But now we're really seeing the spread of authoritarianism and the excesses of the machinery of ICE, which is completely out of control.
Final question for you is about detention. There are tens of billions of dollars, if I'm not mistaken, in the legislation passed last year by the Republicans to expand detention. They're already starting to move on different facilities. They've met local resistance in some places. What are your concerns about what that detention is going to look like, given the reports we've gotten out of the Whipple Federal Building, where people are apparently sleeping on the floor, the Dilley facility where young Liam was and was, falling ill and reacting poorly to the food there?
We politely call them detention centers. What they are prisons. The conditions are similar to prisons and jails. Substandard conditions. A lot of contractors make a ton of money off of these detention centers, and they treat people like garbage. And they try to save every penny. So the food is disgusting. The conditions are horrible. People are treated really, really badly. And the fear that I have is this is also an effort to normalize the extreme dehumanization of immigrants.
Final word. This is just from the lawyer for Liam Conejo Ramos saying that the order to expedite that hearing was frustrating because they keep throwing new obstacles in our way. There's absolutely no reason that this should be expedited. It's not very common. It sure looks like they're going after him. Kika Matos, thanks so much for your time tonight.
What are y'all thoughts on that? I mean, what is the likelihood, the coincidence that you get this public national audience regarding this little 5-year-old, little cute Liam with the little bunny ears, his little Spider-Man backpack, being taken down to Dilley, Texas. They get him back to Minnesota last Tuesday, and then now they want to expedite these people's case. It seems coincidental to me. What y'all think? What's going on in the comments here? So we have Behavioral Finance HQ saying this is why those foreign countries need to do better by their people to where they wouldn't want to migrate in the first place. Facts. Oh, yes. Lou says, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Support the channel. For those who are new here, this is the check-in. And right now we are talking about Liam, the cute little 5-year-old that was detained, and how they are now trying to expedite his deportation case, him and his parents. Okay? So, yes. Pull up, have a drink, enjoy. All right? So we have behavioral saying, but no, he needs to stay with his family. And if he entered legally, they need to leave that child alone. I don't play with kids' safety. And I think that's the challenge here, because I think they said he entered using this app that that President Biden had in place. And then I guess this administration doesn't think the app was vetted properly and that it wasn't a real method of coming in. That's kind of what I've gotten from what I've seen on the subject. Because I was wondering the same thing, like, are they here illegally or not? You know what I'm saying? Because if they were not here legally, then why were they released from the detention facility down in Texas and flown back to Minnesota. That's like money to do all that. So we have her saying this paramilitary occupation of Minneapolis, which had been rated the fourth best city in the country for all qualities, is terrorizing the population of Minneapolis and choking the economy. Got you. Spencer Harvey says he said it would be the largest deportation ever seen. First of all, welcome to the live stream, Spencer Harvey. And you're right. If it got my attention, it must be huge because I didn't really follow anything with deportation, immigration with the prior presidents. But what's going on right now, it's a movie, as they say. We got Gray Harrington in the house. Welcome to the live stream. Saying ICE is all throughout the USA. I'm seeing that. Then we got PDWAA51. They play to the losers who want scapegoats. Okay. All right. So Jazzy is saying power hates perspective. The more people see the full picture, the harder it is to control the narrative. Okay. That's some bars right there. Welcome to the live stream. Her is saying, well, I understood that TSA and the Treasury Department will definitely go after you if you try to carry 10 grand in and out of the country. I believe it. So Behavioral says, I like this setup of your live. Thank you. Well, some people prefer this one over what I call unfiltered conversations. Some will do both of them. And I make sure that I label it the right one so people can know what to expect for each. So yeah, but I appreciate the feedback because talking about this kind of stuff is not my thing, but I am it forces me to be a little bit more aware of what's really going on in the world and in the news. So I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So yes. So what else I got for y'all? So we're gonna change gears a little bit. And I'm sure you guys have heard about Savannah Guthrie's mom, the 84-year-old grandmother who was kidnapped out of her home about a week ago. And so the second deadline for the ransom was 5 o'clock today, Tucson time. Okay. And from what I could see here, I hadn't seen any because I checked while we were watching these videos. I hadn't seen any like updates, but I wanted you guys to kind of see what Savannah's last video was because she was pretty much, trying to connect with the people, whether it's the kidnappers, the public. Like if you see something like, please contact the cops. Her mother needs all this medication, life-saving medication. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And for me, my parents are a little bit younger than her mom. And I could not imagine that happening. I just can't. I mean, they're now asking, the last time I checked, the last amount for the ransom was like $6 million. And they did a video this weekend, Savannah and her siblings saying, we will pay it. But what I will tell y'all, what I don't like is that I feel like there's so many news channels that are trying to report on what's going on as if you don't have these kidnappers watching what you putting out there. So in my opinion, I am not a legal investigator. I am none of those things. What I'm going to say to you is that, unless they are intentionally doing things to throw off these kidnappers, you don't want these folks to be no one step ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to play this first video because I want you guys to see, what she had to say in her message to the people. Check this out. I need to switch the video, y'all. Hold on.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
All right, hour of desperation ahead of this deadline. That's just the new video from Savannah Guthrie, the daughter of...
Let me stop there real quick. Y'all see what she just said? I mean, she doing everything she can to hold it together. And you know that there is someone in law enforcement, specialists, you know, whoever is telling her, helping to guide her in what she is to say in these videos. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit of research on her because I'm like, who's gonna just ask for $6 million? So Miss Savannah here, she works for I think NBC, and her salary is $8 million a year. You know, she making good money. But at the same time, you know, I just really feel like from me speaking, I feel like whoever abducted her mother is somebody that had been around that house before. It could be a worker, it could be anybody, but it wasn't just this wasn't a random thing. It was planned, and it's somebody that has been in that home, in that environment, in order to know like how to like disassemble the cameras, you know, how to do all these different things, like how she has a pacemaker and how they left her phone so that, you know, you can't connect, you can't see what's going on with her pacemaker because she doesn't have her app on the phone. Like there's no connection. Like they knew these things. Like, how would you know she got a pacemaker unless Savannah would talk about it, you know, on her news show? But let me get to these comments and see if y'all say anything real quick. Okay, so we got, well, hold on. Where my comments go? Okay, so yeah, behavioral. The daughter is rich. The daughter is a host on NBC. She makes $8 million a year. The daughter, Savannah, does. Yes. Yes. These people got the coins. Yes. Behavioral says, I hate that for the family. Hopefully they have law enforcement helping resolve the situation. Yes, they are there. What I saw on the video is that the head of the law enforcement was at a game this weekend. Now, I understand the need to decompress and, you know, get away, but you had to know that you being at this public game, that you would get some scrutiny behind that, you know? Okay, we got H2001 saying agreed. Welcome to the live stream. Jazzy Smith 9636 says they recruit her to Mar-a-Lago. What is that? And thank you, Behavioral, saying you like my intimate talks. Thank you. And Everyone listen during this administration, stay out the way and don't make anything worse when you encounter police. That's a fact because they got orders and they're going to execute them. So that's what it is. Yes. But let me let you guys hear the next part where you have these newscasters like trying to like break down what she's saying, how she's saying it. You know, like they're really trying to decipher, like, okay, well, this means that maybe they got this kind of info. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Check this out.
Of Nancy Guthrie, and she said there's still hope out there that Nancy Guthrie potentially could get returned. Lauren, I believe that's the first time you're seeing it. What were your big takeaways? What did you hear there?
Wow. So yes, that was my first time seeing it, and I jotted down some reactions. Number one, she's wearing makeup, it seems, for the first time in over a week. And, you know, perhaps that means she got a little bit of rest. I am speculating maybe she found something out that sort of caused her to just let her mind and body rest and give her a chance to take care of herself just a bit. But I also noticed that, you know, she said we are entering another week of this. Nothing like I'm hoping this is the last day of this, because, you know, in pretty much an hour, the money is supposed to be posted. And not only that, in the ransom note, they said, at least to TMZ, that once the money was posted, they'd have Nancy back. I believe it was within the hour. So Savannah's kind of talking like that is not going to be an option at all. I don't know if you caught that as well, but now I'm kind of like, okay, it seems like the ransom note has nothing to do with Nancy's return. You know, she also said somehow and some way she's feeling these prayers. I feel that, you know, if someone is praying for you and you are asking for prayers here, that we would assume the person feels the prayers. I'm not going to say, you know, somehow, some way she's feeling them. You pray for this person because they will feel them. And I think it's grim. I do. I think it's grim, Andy. I'm sorry to say.
And obviously, this is the first time I'm seeing it as well. And you also note the fact that she is alone. Potentially, she's not alongside her siblings, Annie and Cameron, unlike the other two videos that we've seen from Savannah. And of course, that obviously notable, but this one may be potentially a little bit more off the cuff, speaking to anyone out there asking for tips in this way. And you mentioned the grim nature, and just by the fact that she realizes that this deadline is consequential. Does that really reiterate that fact that this 5 p.m. potentially ransom deadline is so very important?
I didn't get that from her. I don't know if you did. I didn't get that. I again would go back to the note saying if they post this money, which Savannah had said yesterday or the day before, excuse me, we will pay. Why did this video not say, hey, we're going to pay within the hour, so make sure you return our mom? That would seem to be the most obvious thing to say here, and that wasn't said. So now, you know, listen, talk to me in an hour. I might say something different, but as of right now, I am thinking that the ransom note has nothing to do with Nancy Guthrie.
And they are, law enforcement, trying to piece together all of this information to see if it works together. Savannah Guthrie there posting that on social media. Lauren, any other parting words, anything else? Because obviously you mentioned the ransom note, potentially not really tied. That would be interesting, as you kind of point out. Anything else you want to let our audience know before I let you go?
Well, I just want to say that someone has already been arrested in California for falsifying a ransom note. And I hope that if this is true, these people are prosecuted to the fullest, because this is straight up emotional torture, and that is not okay.
Yeah, very, very good point. Obviously, they are arrested there in Los Angeles, and they did it through some forensic digital evidence. And it's interesting how we haven't really had any leads on any of these other ransom notes, whether they're hoaxes or real. So no really kind of leads in that way. All right, Lauren, thank you so much. We're going to continue to watch the saga here on Live Now from Fox, but we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. All right, and as deadline approaches, that $6 million Bitcoin ransom demand still unpaid, with this deadline just hours away, and the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. All right, we're going to continue to follow it closely here on Live Now from Fox, as You can see there this new video posted calling this a nightmare, looking distraught, looking uncertain about what's to come, saying there are prayers out there asking for any sort of help or assistance from individuals. And let's play that out one more time in case you missed it. The first video almost approaching this second deadline from Savannah Guthrie about her mother in hopes that she is returned home safely. Let's listen into this again.
Man. So what did you guys think? I mean, she had broke it down to her wearing makeup on the video. I don't know. I think that whatever she's saying in these videos is intentional, if that makes sense. Like, this is not just her, I'm just gonna pull up my phone and just talk and connect. No, she was told to do a separate video by herself. Like, she has someone that's an expert telling her what to do. Now, let me not be out here trying to speculate, and I'm talking about these people speculating, but I'm just putting that out there. We have Yahkehe, Yahkahey in the house, saying, y'all, welcome to the live stream. We have her saying cruelty is the point of the Trump regime. I tell you what, though, whoever got this woman's mother, I mean, and you know, they found blood, you know what I'm saying, on, I want to say the front porch area, and they confirmed it was the mother's blood. So it's just like, yeah. Yeah. The next video I have is the guy from TMZ. He received one of the first letters from the kidnappers, and he had some good insight that he was sharing. So I want to share that with y'all. We got H2001 in the house saying, y'all, what's going on, H2001? What's the rest? Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and play this right here.
It seems Nancy Guthrie is still alive. That is at least what Savannah Guthrie seems to be telegraphing in her latest Instagram post. She says she, meaning Nancy, is feeling these prayers. So she believes Nancy is still out there. And the other thing that seems clear is they have reached a dead end with whoever took her mother. She says that we believe our mom is out there. We need your help. This is Monday, and the deadline is today at 5 o'clock Tucson time. And the kidnappers made it very clear in the first ransom note, which we received, the situation is dire if they are true to their words, if they don't get that ransom money at 5 o'clock today, Tucson time. We have checked the Bitcoin address, and you can see what's deposited. As of this moment, the $6 million ransom has not been deposited. Something has happened where they are at a stalemate, because if you remember over the weekend, Savannah said, we are ready to pay, and the money isn't there. There is some reason, obviously, as to why they haven't. And it just seems like Savannah is throwing her hands up, saying law enforcement is doing everything they possibly can, but she is begging for the help of anybody, no matter how far away, for anything that could be a clue. The kidnappers, as far as we know, have not shown proof of life. Now, we have only seen the first ransom note, not the second. The second was sent to a local Phoenix television station, but it seems that the kidnappers have not done anything concrete, although there is something really interesting in the message Savannah left over the weekend when she said, we understand, referring to that first note. So there is something that the kidnappers said or demanded that Savannah is acknowledging. And then to me, the key word in that Instagram post over the weekend is the word celebrate. What did Savannah mean to say, we want to celebrate with our mother? it's an odd phrase to use in the middle of all of this. And the only thing I can think of is that word may well have been used in that second ransom note. I don't know because we haven't received the second, but the word is so out of context that I think it's reasonable to at least guess that that word was used in that second note. Now, she says, our mom has been taken and we don't know where. So she is kind of acknowledging that. And as we told you last Friday, that the way the ransom note, and we'll be a little bit descriptive now, the way the ransom note is worded, that they say we will bring your mother back to Tucson, meaning they're not in Tucson right now, if you believe them and take them at their word. We will bring her back to Tucson within 12 hours of the time that we receive the money. Well, if you take 12 hours and then you multiply it by 60 miles an hour, it gives you about a 700-mile radius around Tucson. And so it's basically the western United States, if you take them at their word that they would be within the confines of that 700-mile radius. Personally, I think that there is a good chance that they are way closer. And the reason I say that is there is a connection between this kidnapper and the Tucson television market, which is a much smaller radius than 700 miles. This person who wrote it has some connection to Tucson because the first ransom note was sent to 2 local television stations there, in addition to us. The second ransom note sent to KOLD, which is one of those 2 television stations in Tucson. So whoever wrote this has some connection. Remember, if this were just somebody who saw Savannah Guthrie on TV and said, here's what we're going to do, they probably would have sent it to NBC News, where Savannah works. This is somebody connected to Tucson, and it just feels like it's somebody who either knew Nancy or knew of Nancy, that she had a famous daughter. And that's somebody in that Tucson area. So we talked about it on Friday, but it sure seems to me that if, and I want to say one other thing, that whoever wrote this is intelligent, is articulate, and I say that because the way that first ransom note is worded, it is well structured, the grammar is almost perfect, and it is somebody who is smart. And so if there's somebody in the Tucson area who noticed that somebody over the last week has gone MIA, who is smart and articulate, I don't know, that might be a lead. But it just feels like this is somebody who lived in that Tucson area, or at least the Tucson market. And it is somebody who, if you believe this letter, is within that radius right now with Nancy of the city of Tucson, Arizona. So unfortunately, it seems, at least judging by Savannah's most recent post, that they are at some kind of a dead end because she's just now begging for everybody's help as the clock keeps ticking.
My. That is just so sad. My goodness. I've been checking and they have not posted an update. We have, how I say this? Leveril, she's still missing. Yeah, she's still missing. Today was the second ransom deadline of $6 million, and I don't think they paid it. And I've been on here trying to see if there's any updates, but like, is there like a new note? But they kind of need to keep some things close hold, I'm thinking. So who knows what is really going on behind the scenes, with everything. Because I do not think they should not put out as much, on this internet. Because you may have other people like saying, oh, well, I sit to know, have other people trying to get some money out this woman, pretending to be the kidnapper, but not really the kidnapper. That type of BS. Like, some folks just don't have good sense. It's a real serious time right here. And they want to hit a lick. You know what I'm saying? So they have like all these different newscasters like outside the woman's home and all of that. And then they said that the police had released the crime scene. Who do that? Why would you release the crime scene and the crime ain't resolved? I don't know, y'all. I'm not in law enforcement, but I don't know. What we got here? All things Key said I done fell asleep. Girl, you done fell asleep. Girl, I'm gonna be heading to sleep in about the next hour. Libra says, I'm guessing a family member is involved in her disappearance. Probably. We're gonna find out though. At some point, we're gonna find out what's behind this. Yes. All things Key says still recovering from Super Bowl, and I was drinking and taking shots, knowing I'm not about that life. Once I turned 30, I turned to a granite, gotta run the bed. Girl, get you some rest. Drink you plenty of ice water. So we got H2001 saying yes. Behavioral saying, I pray she's not harmed. I don't play about elders and kids. I agree. That's why I was saying, behavior, when they found that blood, on the doorstep, when they first discovered her missing, they confirmed it was hers. So there's a little bit of harm that had to be done to get that blood out of her, right? But I just don't know to what extent. I just hope that this lady is able to come home and she's not going, this is a traumatic experience. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't know if she spent like a whole, 9 days has been now with these people. Do we really think they're going to just let her go? And then they know that when she gets released, they're going to be trying to figure out, well, who were you with? Can you tell us this? Can you tell us that? That type of thing, So I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. I really am. I really am. So we have behavior saying, do you have any plans for V-Day? I do not have any plans for V-Day. I'm supposed to be going out of town on Thursday, and I don't know where I'm going. So that just tells you I'm living on the edge. I'm living out on the edge, y'all. I'm gonna get it figured out though. We have behavior saying I'm 37 and 40 feels like it's around the corner. It's gonna come just like that. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your ache-free life. Okay? Do it big. So, what's your question, behavioral? What's the question? So, H2001 says, I would go out of my mind if my mom was taken. Exactly. I would too. I cannot imagine how she is able to do what she's doing on these. Yeah, that lady got some resilience, and that's why she's the $8 million a year host. Okay, we got Dirty Money in the house. How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Behavior says you deserve to be treated and enjoy V-Day, even if it's just on a friend level. Oh, I'm gonna definitely have me let me tell you something, behavior. I enjoy every day. I really do. But I appreciate your sentiment. Yes, I do. But y'all, we're gonna keep track of what's going on, Miss Guthrie. We're gonna hope for the best. We're gonna put the positive vibes into the atmosphere, and we're gonna hope for the best, okay? And let me see something. Oh Lord, she's talking about a freezer. We got all things Keith saying. Oh, Tiff, I watched a story the other day where the lady unalived her 2 kids and put them in the freezer and had her kids living in the house with the unalived kids being in the freezer. That's sad. That's crazy. Behavior says it's February, so look to your side. Behavior, look, you behavioral. My tree is gonna be up for the year. Um, I might do a Mardi Gras tree. I might do an Easter tree, 4th of July tree, summer tree, Halloween tree, Thanksgiving tree. You know, I don't know which one yet. But right now, like the colors go with my aesthetic. It's cream and gold. So it goes beautifully up in here. But let me tell you, behavior, my Christmas tree lit up brings me so much joy. You hear me? When I come up in here, when I have to get up at 4:45 in the morning to get dressed for work, I get up, I go get my remote, and I cut my tree on. And while I'm up in the morning getting ready to go to my job, I have my ambiance of my Christmas tree here that I can look at. Yes. So this tree ain't going nowhere. I hate that. I hate that the people don't like the tree being up, but the tree makes me happy. It brings me joy, and I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I did. It took me 2 live streams to get this tree like this, and I still had more to go. Yes, and so my Christmas tree helps me host my live streams. We a package deal. Yes. Let me see here. Behavior up here laughing, talking about what a year. Yes, yes, a year. Yes. So Dirty Money said there's more going on with that kidnapping than what we know. Something is suspect happening. I agree with you on that, Dirty Money. Mm-hmm. So all things Key Nicole says, I would love to hear how you feel if that's not too heavy of a story. I mean, where the story? Where I find the story at? Yeah, send me the story. Yes. Where to send it to? I don't even know. What's my email address? Hold on. Send me the story. Give me 1 second. Let me see some. Um, girl, I think I don't even look. I'm pretty sure in my let me see some. If you look go to my page, like I'm finna go, I believe I have my email address on here, right? I don't have it on here. Okay. Is it let me see, is it right here on this link tree? Let me see some. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to see something real quick. How I don't have my email address? Okay. All right, y'all. That's a shame. Let me see something here. Cause I was gonna say, okay, so all things key on one of these like community posts that I be doing, put me the link to the story. Cause I don't even know what my email address is. And I don't want to give it out wrong. But yeah, go on to any of my little posts and put the link, and I should get the hit, and then I'll look at it. Yes. Okay, good night, H2001. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. We got it's on YouTube. Okay. Well, how do I find it on YouTube then? All things Key Nicole. And she said the lady told her she didn't feel bad. Wow. Behavior said, I never heard of changing the tree for each month holiday, but that's a unique idea. Yes, people do that. It's not common though. All things Key says, behavior, you must be new here because we the people already went to court about this tree and we lost. He said, whatever makes you happy. Thank you, behavioral. I know you feel good about your career choice because of all the job losses, and it's really hard to get a good paying job. I feel good about it. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I was meeting with someone in my leadership chain, right? And he asked me why didn't I put in for this particular position? It would be a promotion. And I told him I didn't put in for it. I didn't put in for it. I said that was more of a subject matter expert type position, and that's not anything I'm an expert in. Like the job I'm in now, it's something like brand new to me, so I'm learning it, but I'm only doing it for like 3 years, right? Then I move on to something else. So I enjoy learning new things, but when you learn new things, it can provide a level of stress for me anyway. And so this position, the guy who had the job when he retired, this man had a PhD in this thing. I don't have no PhD in this. Like I've been doing this for a year and a half, you know. Now I appreciate him thinking I had the ability and the skill set to do it. But I explained to him that, at this point for me, I said I got more years behind me working than in front of me working. And that at this stage of life, for me, it's all about me getting positions that I want to be in, that I like, and that I enjoy. Because I have had hard jobs supervising people that didn't want to work, and I had to do a lot because I had them accountable. So at this point, for me, I'm all about enjoying what I'm doing, being only worrying about me and what I'm doing. That's what type of time I'm on. And if I get promoted or keep doing the same, it's the money ain't that big of a difference, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to the work. I'm all about, when I was younger, I was grinding. That's how I ended up going to Spokane, Washington. I was on the grind, moving, doing different assignments, doing what I need to do to get to where I'm at today. So I have arrived. And I'm at a point now where I'm going to choose what I want to do and choose where I want to go and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So Dirty Money says a promotion to an area you're not familiar with can easily lead to the unemployment line. Exactly. And it's going to be a lot more stress because I'm going to really be trying to, go in overdrive, trying to get up to speed, get caught up, you know, make sure I keep my job. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So behavior says, right, low stress and just cruise to retirement. That's the plan. Yeah. Behavior says, I never want to supervise anyone but me. That's the right mindset to have because I got some stories about them people. I mean, there are people out here that do not want to work and then get mad. Like this lady was told to do something and she just didn't do it. Went and filed a complaint. And I told the lady, I said, ma'am, so this is what happened. The lady says, I said, well, so she told you that she didn't do what she was supposed to do, right? So why are we talking? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, y'all, let me not go into all that. But yes, y'all, if you're catching the live stream on the replay, leave a comment in the chat, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get off the line with y'all for the night, okay? And I think I'm going to be back on Wednesday, 7:15 Eastern. It will be scheduled, okay? And we will continue the vibe and chat on Wednesday. Behavior. He says, when I hit the lottery, I got you. I appreciate that. Those people were not engineers. They were not. Nope. Nope, nope. But we were all in the same workplace. Okay, y'all. I have been on here for 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 45 seconds. I'm going to come back Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. And if there's anything that's popping, that's like big news, I might come back tomorrow. We'll see. But I always have it scheduled so you'll know. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Okay? You all have a blessed night. And if you have not done so, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Have a blessed night. Be safe, be warm. And I will see you on the next live stream on Wednesday, more than likely. Bye.